Before we start, antes de iniciar, este tipo de reuniones no son posibles sin nuestros patrocinadores. Right? This type of meetings, they're not possible without our sponsorships. So. And it's possible to get here together for women in business because Zancope, Notary Public, is making the things happen with the snacks, with coffee, with water, as well as Spaces Innovation Center. Así que me gustaría que le diéramos un fuerte aplauso a Zancope Notary Public. Spaces Innovation, represented by Alex. There are also a couple other sponsors, Blue Jay Latino Mechanic y el inversor compuesto, Alfonso García, que no está tampoco presente. Follow latinvoices.ca. It's a community non-profit association, obviously, and trying to lead this, and I like to grow up. I do this because it makes me a better husband, a better father, and a better person, and I can grow professionally. Es un honor dar las bienvenidas a este nuevo capítulo de Latino Entrepreneur Network, presentado bajo el marco de Latin Voices Society, nuestra organización sin fines de lucro dedicada a empoderar y conectar a nuestra comunidad. Gracias de corazón por estar presentes, ya sea como emprendedores, aliados o simplemente curiosos, su presencia lo es todo. Latino women who's building, leading, and transforming lives through their work. They are mothers, leaders, creatives, strategists, and entrepreneurs. And they carry not only their businesses, but their stories, their cultures, and their communities with them. I'm incredibly proud to introduce the women joining us tonight. Flavia Zancope, a trusted voice in the legal world who built a business from the ground up. Claudia Vega, quien lleva la tradición y el de corazón en cada tortilla, Happy Tortilla. Frida Fernandez, she's empowering others to their service with their company F&R Solutions. And we got Sharon Fisher, una ejecutiva global que demuestra que no hay límites para las latinas, ni siquiera en el mundo de la tecnología o los videojuegos. El Latino Entrepreneur nació porque necesitamos más espacios como este, espacios seguros, bilingües y colaborativos donde se pueden compartir ideas, crecer como emprendedores y escuchar historias reales de otros como las que va a ser el día de hoy. Esta noche se trata de visibilidad, se trata de conexión, se trata de comunidad, y cuando nos reunimos así, no solo creamos no solamente crecemos como personas, sino como colectivos. Así que disfruten esta noche, damas y caballeros, conecten, platiquen, hagan preguntas, apóyense mutuamente, conozcan a otras mujeres increíbles, que no solamente las que van a estar aquí, pero entre ustedes, porque nunca sabes a dónde te puede llevar un simple saludo. Y si quieren ser parte de los próximos eventos, proyectos o simplemente mantenerse conectados, Latin Voices también es su espacio. Muchas gracias por estar aquí, thank you for being here. Así que vamos a empezar. Let's start. So, Flavia Zancope is a Notary public entrepreneur with over 9 years of experience helping family and individuals through real estate transactions, wills, powers of attorney, and more. She'll be sharing her journey of building a business with legal purposes and clarity. Flavia Zancope es notaria pública emprendedora con más de 9 años de experiencia ayudando a familias e individuos en transacciones inmobiliarias, testamentos, poderes notariales y más. Esta noche compartirá su camino de construir un negocio con propósito legal y claridad. Welcome, Claudia.
Buenas noches a todos. Me llamo Flavia, soy brasileña, de Rio de Janeiro, Brasil. Hablo un poquito de español porque mi mejor amiga durante el curso de universidad era de Venezuela. Pero hace casi 20 años que no practico el español. Therefore, I'm going to switch my presentation to English. So, tonight I'll be talking a little bit about my background, what is a notary public in DC, my areas of practice, my whys, and my goals. So, those are all the degrees that you need to have to become a notary public here in DC. I started my schooling experience in the US. I lived there for 6 years. I moved out there when I was 19. And I did my undergrad in business. Later in life, I ended up having an identity crisis, as many immigrants have. And I felt lonely and out of place, and I decided I should go back to my home country, Brazil. I moved, and I had my green card, my life all set up and everything. I gave it all up. I went back to Brazil, and there I was feeling out of place somehow in the place where I was born. And that was a weird feeling because I was close to family and friends, but I wasn't feeling home anymore. So, long story short, after 5 years of researching places where I would like to live, I actually ended up in Canada in 2010, doing, not knowing exactly what I was going to be doing. I came here without a job, without knowing a single soul, and ready to start a new life, just based on quality of life that I heard and I had seen by visiting here once. I have 2 kids and a dog, and I became a notary in 2016 after finishing a master's program with SFU and doing a practicum and starting and writing the bar exam. I jumped in to become an entrepreneur and open my own business. That was always a passion that I had. I had business while I was doing different things in life. And I think once you have that kind of itch, you are always an entrepreneur, regardless of the field that you work. And for me, my calling was law since a very long time ago, but for different reasons, I kind of like distanced from law. And here in Canada, when I was rebuilding my life, there was a new opportunity for me to go back to my true self and find myself in law again. A notary public in BC. Why notaries versus and not law firms? And that's a common question that I get because both professionals need to go through a master's and then write a bar exam. The main difference is that, I like to say, is that notary publics work with happy law. And that's what I wanted to work. I never wanted to go in terms of litigation to courts and stuff. So I focus the work in real estate law, so we're helping people with buying, selling, and refinancing real estate market or properties. I help people with personal planning documents, which is wills, power of attorneys, representation agreements. And apostille services is an international document legalization. So all of us that have business or affairs that needs, leading to legal documents that would need to be signed here but to be used outside of Canada, you would need to have one of these services at some point in your life. When you're signing a document here, you need to have it witnessed and then authenticated, which is called apostille, by the Canadian government to be considered a legal document to be used outside of Canada. Those are the 3 areas of law that notaries work here in BC. Why did I decide to do that? Like, working with law for me is more than the transactional, it's more than dealing with legal paperwork. I wanted to do something where I love people, I love networking, I love being part of communities, and I love being able to share special moments with people. And I decided out of the scope of work that the legal work that I could work here in Canada or BC, I decided to pick 3 that I felt that would be saying something about myself, my background, and things that I enjoy doing, which is participating in landmarks for people. When people are buying or selling a home, I feel so special, especially when I'm signing with first-time home buyers, the excitement. I finished signing documents, and quite often people hand me a cell phone to take a picture of them signing the paperwork for their first home, and I feel so excited and honored to be part of that. Or when they become a parent and they realize, oh my, and that's, for me, that's when it started as well. I need a will, because I want to make sure that if something happens to me, my child doesn't go to foster family. And just a side note here, that's how I learned about notaries. When I had my child, my first child, who's 12 now, I was at the hospital, it was a C-section, and a Canadian friend came to visit me at the hospital. She was like, did you have your will done before your C-section? I'm like, no, but everything's fine. And she was like, no, I don't mean that. And then she explained me the need of the will because, and I don't know why I thought that, but because in Brazil it's different, like you don't need a will, like your parents or grandparents would actually be able to take care of the child. And I simply assumed that here it would be the same, but I learned on the day that my son was born that that was not the case. And then soon after leaving the hospital, I started to do some research, and that's how I found out about notaries, that notaries could specialize in this area. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be part of this moment on everybody's life. And I ended up getting a will for myself, and then from that moment, applying to go to school. When my son was 18 months old, I was actually starting the master's program. And also planning for aging or loss. So a lot of people think about their retirement and planning for investments and everything, but they don't realize that there's a little bit more that needs to be added to that. And we always mention that about like elderly people, because with age, our patience decline, our ability to be mobile declines, and we need to have trusted people around us with power documents, powers given in the document to deal with legal, financial, and even health care matters on our behalf. And it's a very special or important point of our lives as well. Not to mention the loss. When somebody dies, if somebody dies without a will here in Canada, it's very costly and time-consuming and bureaucratic for people that stay behind to have to deal with that in the moment of grieving. So my purpose is to remove the legal fear from planning and replace it with empowerment. I believe in teaching or giving the tools to, for my clients to feel comfortable with whatever legal document they are signing. I believe in plain language. And I remember going through my master's, I was one of the only students that had English as a second language. And one of my professors, who was a lawyer, he was like, why do you think as a second language, having English as a second language or ESL, you want to practice law? Because if you use the wrong word for the situation, you could be sued. So I still see a lot of that in the legal world, but I find that, like, as you can probably relate, when we leave our comfort zone and we go to a new country, you are always open to go above and beyond what people in that same field that you work are prepared to do. And that was me going through my master's. I knew that I had to prove myself a lot more than other people would because of the English as a second language. And I specialized in wills because it's a codified area of law here in BC, which is not common because we have common law. And in addition to my legal training during my master's, I had the opportunity to mentor with one of the lawyers who helped the government to rewrite legislation here in BC. And in addition to that, I take 20 hours of legal course in terms of preparing wills and what's happening in courts to make sure that I keep updating my precedents and keep it up on top of whatever is happening or has happened with the legislation here. One thing, so my main office is in Langley, and I opened that office 9 years ago. We have 7 people in the office, all women, and I decided to expand to Kelowna. And a lot of people, that was January this year, so it's fairly new. And a lot of people ask, like, why would I choose you? Wouldn't it be better for me to use the notary or lawyer next door to me that has always been here and will be here in case I need them? My advice, or my point is, like, I know how specialized I am and how many hours I have dedicated over the past 9 years, and I will continue to dedicate to studying wills and personal planning documents. And I prepare documents based on the up-to-date legislation and also what's happening in courts. So my answer to that is, yes, you could use a lawyer next door or a notary next door to prepare your wills, but would you trust that will with your life if you were to die? Would that person, because of the location, would be better than someone with this kind of expertise bringing it up to you? And what I like to say is that you don't need someone across the street. You need someone that answers the phone when you need to get advice, and someone that drafts the document that you need the proper way in the first place. Because the beauty of wills is that you don't have to keep updating them. You do it once, and you should, if it's done properly, you shouldn't have to keep updating them anymore. And that's part of the new legislation with wills. Why Kelowna? Why did I come here? Kelowna is my favorite spot for vacation, so that's one big reason that I decided to come here. It's the planning for the future as well. I cannot move here right away because of family situation. I have young children. But I love Kelowna. I've been spending many years coming here during the summertime, except for the fire time. But I love how, for me, Kelowna combines the beach vibe that I love because I'm from Rio de Janeiro, and also business mind. I find that it's the right balance between not so stressed out people like Vancouver people, but not so laid back people like the upper BC, northern BC and stuff. I find that it's kind of the right balance, and I love the community feeling that I find in Kelowna. And yeah, if that was enough reason, I just like the weather as well. My goal is to support families with the services that they need, which is very personal. And I find many professionals in my area, they don't take this as personal as it should because of the culture sometimes. And being from Brazil, and I think that you guys can relate as well, that we are always like willing to listen and trying to be there for the person, even if it doesn't mean necessarily that they need just legal paperwork. They might need other stuff as well. But it's almost like I became friends with so many of my clients, and that's mainly because I'm there for their personal special moments. And my goal is that to know that I have helped someone in that time in their lives, and I made a difference. That they can rest assured that the documentation that they have has been set in place, taking into consideration everything that they have going on in their lives, despite of different situations, and I'll be able to prepare the best document, taking the proper time to talk to them and make them feel comfortable with whatever they have. Remember, the right documents, they just don't protect you, they protect the people that you love. And that's the legal clarity with purpose. That's my main goal, to make sure that I provide legal services with clarity, with transparency, with education as well. So empowering my clients.
Well, let's keep learning. Vamos a seguir aprendiendo. La siguiente presentación es a través de Claudia Vega. Ella es fundadora de Tortilla en Kelowna. Ella es una emprendedora mexicana orgullosa, lleva los sabores de la tradición a la comunidad a través de tortillas, iniciando hechas a mano y una misión con corazón. Su historia refleja la belleza de convertir la cultura en propósito. Claudia Vega is the founder of Happy Tortilla in Kelowna, a proud Mexican entrepreneur. She brings the flavor of tradition to the community with handmade tortillas and a heart-driven mission. Her story reflects the beauty of culture turning into a purpose. Let's give it up to Claudia, everyone.
Gracias. Bueno, en mi caso es al revés que Flavia, porque yo todo el tiempo hablo en español, porque todos mis clientes hablan en español. Para mí no es fácil hablar en inglés, pero bueno, pues si alguien tiene alguna pregunta, por favor, ayúdenle a las personas. Si me entienden en español, yo les agradezco mucho. Thank you for me. Bueno, pues Claudia llegó a este país y su primer trabajo fue en Mujeres. Mujeres fue el trabajo donde yo llegué y me abrió todas las puertas, ¿saben? De entrada, pues bueno, soy contador público en México y pasé de ser una empleada de Winners a tener mi propia empresa. ¿Cómo pasó esto? ¿En qué momento pasaste de ser la empleada a ser la dueña de la empresa? Bueno, eso fue claridad interior, tuve que trabajar en mí, fue lo primero que tuve que hacer. Saber quién era Claudia, saber de qué estaba hecha Claudia. ¿Por qué me puse tan incómoda en venir a Canadá? Esa fue la primera pregunta que pasaron años para que llegara la respuesta. Pero bueno, ese ha sido todo un viaje en realidad. Los primeros pasos, como quien se los decía, el trabajo en Winners. Yo no hablaba nada de inglés. Ahí está mi compañera Gina, que sabe que yo llegué y no sabía ni cómo se decía, ¿no? Huella. Y yo así, ¿what? Y la gente me preguntaba y yo, no estoy entendiendo. Llegó una señora muy enojada y me dijo, ¿por qué no hablas inglés? Y le dije, no hablas así. Pero yo muy segura de, porque yo sabía lo que ella me decía, pero yo no lo sabía decir en español, digo en inglés. Entonces, bueno, esto me hizo más fuerte y saber que realmente yo quería estar aquí. Son las preguntas que te tienes que hacer cuando llegas a este país. ¿Realmente eso es lo que quiero? Y bueno, la semilla empezó como un sueño que un día tuve que dije, tengo una necesidad. La necesidad, como cualquier mexicano, quien es mexicano aquí sabe que tener una tortilla fresca lo es todo, porque estamos acostumbrados, porque nuestra dieta es una tortilla, porque nuestros ancestros comían con frijoles, chile y tortillas. Esa era la alimentación de nuestros ancestros. Entonces yo decía, yo no puedo comer esta cosa, es plástico, o sea, de verdad es una cochinada. Entonces una necesidad me hizo tener ese sueño. Entonces ese es el motor, ese fue el motor por el que yo empecé en mi cabeza de voy a hacer tortillas, pero yo no me voy a dar abasto haciendo lo que mis ancestros hacían, ¿no? Con piedra, a mano. Entonces, pues dije, bueno, a ver cuánto dinero tengo, ¿no? Para empezar a invertir. Pero primero tenía que invertir en mí. Y yo decía, no, pero espérate, yo no puedo empezar algo si yo no estoy bien interiormente. Entonces, tengo una mentora de negocios donde me dijo, a ver, primero trabájate tú, porque si tú no te trabajas, ¿no? Si tú no tienes claridad interior, no vas a poder iniciar nada. Todo el mundo dice, es que yo quiero, pero espérame, vive el proceso. Entonces, eso es lo que tenemos que aprender a hacer cuando llegas a este país, vivir el proceso. Y cuando tú te presionas y estás encima y el de adelante ya va más adelante, tú dices, pero ¿por qué yo voy a más para atrás? Entonces, tienes que caminar. Cuando tú entiendes que a este país llegas y tienes que caminar y no correr, entonces es cuando te cae el 20 y es cuando empiezas a hacer las cosas de la manera correcta. Ese fue ese momento de reflexión cuando yo tuve y dije, no le voy a trabajar a una persona, y no porque no le quiera trabajar a una empresa, sino porque me tenía que trabajar yo. La mayor empresa estaba aquí adentro, no estaba yo fuera.
So just quickly for the people speaking English don't understand Spanish, her story starting like basically like the necessity, because the staple food for us, the Mexican and many Latinos, is tortilla. So she found happy tortilla because of necessity. But something very important she said is like, before actually just to come and get those ideas and go start working, she needs to work in herself. And that's a procedure. This is one of the basic things that we need to work in ourselves first before actually to come and put our idea ahead of us. As an immigrant, we got a lot of fears, especially we feel insecure because of language. So just to kind of give you a little bit summary, right? So we're going to continue with the next.
El sueño comenzó a ver a maíz. La pasión de hacer tortillas. Cuando mis hijos me decían, mamá, haz tú las tortillas. Y decía, oye, ¿es en serio? ¿Really? Ok. Entonces, no solamente es cansado hacerlas a mano, pero mis hijos me decían, mamá, tus tortillas saben tan ricas que hacen más y hacen más. Y yo decía, ok. Hice una lista de talentos. Me senté a ver, no solamente tenía que hacerme esas preguntas poderosas de qué es lo que quiero, dónde quiero llegar, sino que me dediqué a hacer una lista de talentos y decir, ¿para qué soy buena? Oye, pues te salen muy bien las tortillas, pues entonces me voy a poner a hacer tortillas. Oye, pero eres muy buena vendiendo, pues entonces me voy a poner a vender. Oye, pero eres muy buena relacionándote, entonces me voy a relacionar. Entonces, cuando tú descubres cuáles son tus talentos, entonces entra esa pasión y dije, pues si mi talento es esto, lo voy a explotar. Voy a dar ese servicio, porque es un servicio por el resto. Entonces, la pasión por las tortillas me llevó a hacer un círculo, a un sabor a casa, porque mi tortilla tiene esa emoción que cuando tú te sientas y te comes esa tortilla y ves, hace rato platicaba con alguien que compra tortillas, me dice, es que yo veo que se infla la tortilla y me emociona. Y dije, claro, porque a ti te recuerda a tu abuelita, tu grandma, a tu mom, a tu tía, a tu mom, y sabes que es un producto hecho con amor. Nace Happy Tortilla con todo el amor y la dedicación, porque desde el diseño, desde el nombre, dije, yo soy feliz haciendo tortillas, por eso se llama Happy, ¿no? Entonces es Happy, para mí es una emoción cada día que voy a trabajar. Yo no trabajo, yo voy a entregar mi corazón cada vez que hago esas tortillas. Actualmente son tortillas artesanales y bueno, estamos en el proceso de hacerla tradicional para que tú puedas tener las tortillas no solamente en Colombia, sino en Vancouver, en México, en Estados Unidos, en cualquier parte del mundo donde tú vayas a vivir, porque ahora estamos aquí y mañana no sabes dónde vas a vivir. Entonces, esa es la idea.
Well, everything starts from passion, right? For people that don't know, just go and buy tortillas at the supermarket, they have no idea how actually is the traditional tortilla, the handmade tortilla, the ancestral tortilla. It takes a lot of work. And as a mothers, you know, as a mothers, they usually, the kid's gonna be like, I remember asking my mom, like, I want tortilla, and then got the mom, like, you know, getting the masa and doing this hard work, the long process to actually get a tortilla on the table. So, because that need in the family, and she started getting like compliments, like, you're really good speaking, like, you know, relationship with other people, you're really good selling, your tortilla is amazing, the flavor is there, from there. So she discovered that those skills was the need to impulse her to actually make and create the business at Happy Tortilla. She called it Happy Tortilla because she said like, she doesn't go to work. She's happy doing what she really loves to be doing, which is actually making tortillas. So that's what's the name, Happy Tortilla.
En el camino siempre te encuentras muchos no's, te encuentras el rechazo, te encuentras la crítica. Y eso está bien, porque en lugar de quedarte de víctima, tu virtud, bueno, depende de tu trabajo interior, pero yo lo tomé como gracias por decirme que no, gracias por hacerme un comentario que a lo mejor no me gustó en el momento, insultaron mi producto. Mucha gente solamente estaba o me compraba para, pues vamos a ver, ¿no? Vamos a probar. Y está bien, de verdad que agradezco cada no, pues cada situación a las que me tuve que enfrentar a la emoción, porque esto me hizo crecer. Y yo les decía, retroalimentame, porque siempre es bueno que tú me digas qué está bien y qué estoy haciendo mal. Actualmente mis clientes me dicen, no solamente es el sabor, es la atención. Tú me regalas una sonrisa, me regalas no te preocupes, yo te soluciono. Si hoy no puedes llevar tus tortillas, yo te las llevo. ¿Dónde estás? O sea, el servicio, eso es lo que aprecia la gente, que tú le des un servicio. No vendo una tortilla, vuelvo a insistir. Yo te doy una emoción cuando tú te comes una tortilla y te vendo un servicio que tú digas, te llevé la tortilla, el sabor y me llevo el buen servicio y la sorpresa. Entonces eso es lo que me caracteriza.
The challenge, like any entrepreneur, right? The critics, the people, the no's. How many times you guys facing that? Many of us when we started in this way, right? It's gonna be people who's gonna like it. It's gonna be people who's gonna hate it, though. But she was perseverant and she was open to the feedback, because the feedback is one of the things to make it stronger, to keep going, to keep making the tortilla. But she said she's not only selling the tortilla, she sells the flavor, she sells the service. So it's more just to be, and you find the tortilla, you got a connection over there, the emotion, everything that like the tortillas we made it by heart.
El sueño se hizo realidad hace un año. Somos la primera fábrica de tortillas en el Okanagan. Somos 100% auténticos en el sabor tradicional de nuestras raíces. Esa es nuestra visión, no perder la tradición en nuestra tortilla, en nuestro principal alimento como tenemos como cultura. Y esa es la visión que tengo, no perder eso bonito que encuentras en tu sabor de la tortilla. El encontrar tu cultura y decir, estoy en otro país, ¿sí? Tengo que un día difícil, ¿no? Tuve un día difícil en mi trabajo, pero llego y encuentro ese sabor cuando caliento comida, cuando estoy comiendo, cuando es mi hora de vida. Sé que tengo infinitas posibilidades de seguir mi sueño y seguir creciendo en él. Así que, pues, es sí o sí. Bueno, pues en la pirámide que encontramos está la tradición, que eso fue lo primero, que son los cimientos de Happy Tortilla. No perder nunca la tradición, porque es lo que siempre tienes que tener, tus pies en el piso y tu mirada hacia el cielo. La sostenibilidad, nuestras máquinas son unas máquinas que no ocupan tanta energía y que son amables con el medio ambiente. El liderazgo, bueno, pues ser tortillas artesanales, la verdad es que eso es lo que nos llena ahorita de
About the tortilla, and the last one, like she's the first manufacturer of tortillas in the Okanagan. She's very proud of that, and her dream came true. But she's not stopping dreaming. She's still got more dreams to keep growing though. So that's the vision, that's the pyramid. She got tradition, sustainability, and leadership.
Y bueno, estamos a punto de abrir nuestro nuevo hogar, donde ustedes van a encontrar un espacio abierto, donde van a ver todo el proceso de la tortilla, desde el inicio hasta el final. Y pues esto vamos a hacer comunidad, porque tú vas a poder entrar y no solamente ver mi tradición, sino te vas a poder pues llenar de nuestra cultura por si no eres mexicano, y vas a saber por qué es tan importante para nosotros una buena tortilla. Entonces empezamos, pues ya, 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviamente estás en este país y no es igual que nuestro país, que nuestros países, que puedes llegar y abres la cortina, ¿no? Aquí hay muchas reglas y hay que seguirlas, y pues estamos en todos los trámites para que tú puedas sembrar nuestro nuevo hogar.
Pues felicitaciones. So pretty soon she's going to have a space open to the public where it's not only just to come get tortillas, it's going to be a community space. where you actually come and experience the process of the tortilla, smell and feeling, texture, questions, so pretty much live the whole experience. Yes, next time.
Pues bueno, visión es no tener fronteras, dentro y fuera de Canadá, puede llegar a Happy Tortilla. Así que la expansión es grande, el emprendedor siempre va a tener ese gran sueño de crecer, de no quedarse estático. Así que bueno, mi producto es auténtico y donde hay una tortilla hay una familia. Eso es lo que a nosotros nos enseñan desde niños, porque eso es lo que, con lo que crecimos. Entonces siempre reúnes a la familia cuando tienes la comida y todo. Bueno, pues este es lo que soy. Estoy con mi mejor red, mi mejor equipo.
She has the best team ever working with her.
Mi familia.
Her family.
Mis hijos siempre están conmigo en el sueño. Fueron los primeros que creyeron en mí, en este proyecto. Así que, pues bueno, pues, ese soy yo. Gracias por ser parte de la tortilla. No solo vendo tortillas, como les comenté, generamos emociones, cultura e identidad.
That was a very inspiring story, guys. That's women, that's emotion, that's actually pure heart. Basically, it's, well, like anyone, she feels emotionally fully because her kids are present and it matters a lot for her. Like, you know, they actually supporting her. Her husband is here and they're the first people they believe on her. And that's what actually it is. Anywhere there's a tortilla, there's a family. And for the people who got this visibility, it's very like, I don't know how to describe it, it's very emotional though. But thank you so much for the presentation, Claudia. Gracias una vez más a Claudia por la presentación. We're going to continue with the next speaker. The next one is Frida Fernandez. He's the founder of F&R Solutions, a cleaning company operated by and for Latino women. Her work not only serves homes and businesses across Kelowna, but empowers women in the process. Her focus is quality, opportunity, and communities. Frida Fernandez es la fundadora de F&R Solutions, una empresa de limpieza creada por y para mujeres latinas. Su trabajo no solo ofrece servicios a hogares y negocios en Kelowna, sino que también empodera a mujeres en el proceso. Su enfoque es la calidad, la oportunidad y la comunidad. Damos un fuerte.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes a todos. Qué padre verlos todos aquí. La verdad yo había preparado mi presentación en español, pero pues sé que aquí todos somos bilingües, entonces voy a improvisar en inglés. So I just want to start off by thanking Saul because putting this event together is just, you know, it's the first step to kind of like get everybody that's like-minded together, and everybody else is doing it, but the Latinos. Sometimes we think that we are our own worst enemy, when in fact we can really support each other in a way that we can build a strong community. So I think let's just keep pushing for that. So thank you for the space, thank you for the time. So same with my speakers, just very, very touched by your stories, very touched by your entrepreneurism, is that a word? And I can relate to both of you because my story kind of goes both ways like that. I came here, started off as a vacation, literally that's how my story starts. I came here for vacation, ended up staying. I went back to Mexico to kind of see if I was in the right place here. Went back there, didn't feel like myself either. Once you come to a place like this, you start opening, especially when you come from a small city like mine. Well, not that small. I'm from Merida. The Mexicans might know. So it's a very nice place. Nobody wants to live there. Actually, everybody wants to live there, like move there and settle there. But for me, it was quite different. I feel like my life was really good there. To be really honest with you all. I had just finished university. I had my own business. I was bringing, how in Mexico they don't have like Macs, Sephora, or back in the day. So I was just like bringing stuff from the States to sell in Mexico, and I was doing really good. I had my own car. I lived at my mom's. So yeah, my life was really good. I was just living the dream, really. But I somehow ended up here for, like I said, for vacation. So my story really starts like that. Just me trying to find my spot in the world, I guess. So yeah, it is good. So I started from the bottom. I really started from the bottom. That's me over here. I was doing asbestos demolition when I came here. A bunch of my friends, we got together and we were like, why don't we just try to go to Canada? Like, no visa, no requirements, no nothing. So we were all like, yeah, why don't we all go? So it was a huge party for us. Like, it was like 15 of my very, very best friends that we came here and yeah, just like I said, living the life. But of course, it was hard to find a job back then, doing what I knew, because I am, like I said, I finished university. I'm a business administrator, so of course I wasn't going to find any business administration jobs here. But I ended up doing asbestos with all of my friends, which was amazing. Like I really enjoyed it, and I think that's where I started getting my experience from as a cleaner, of course, because like you are literally tearing down houses, so you gotta make it nice and safe, because as you know, asbestos is cancerogenic. So yeah, it was a journey for sure. Like I said, me coming from a place where I literally had everything handed to me and served to me, it was really a challenge. But I guess I just learned. So yes, it was very harsh. I learned a lot. That's how I started forming myself as a cleaner. It wasn't glamorous, of course, but it was the best school that I could get, because that showed me how to be, like to get discipline, to kind of, when you are in another country and you have to suffice for yourself, it can become quite sad and hard if that's not what you know how to do. And yes, like you say, like you get a lot of no's and a lot of negativity from other people, but at the end of the day, you gotta get up and just go to work, and it's one day at a time, right? So I did that for 4 years, and I ended up moving here 2-3 years ago, because my now husband got a nice job opportunity. After doing the asbestos, I started working as a commercial cleaner after I got like my PR and everything else. That's when COVID started, and thankfully I was employed by them, because otherwise I wasn't gonna be able to keep up. How everything was closed and the government was helping you out if you had a job and if you worked in this industry and all that. So yeah, I stopped for however long COVID was. And right after COVID, when everything started opening again, we got the chance to come here. And while I was here, I couldn't find a job. Like, I literally couldn't find a job anywhere. I was applying to do whatever, because at this point I was like, I've already done asbestos, I can do anything that I want to do. So yeah, I was just looking for a job, never got one. And there was one girl that gave me an opportunity and said like, hey, you know, like, you're a cleaner, what's your background? This is what I know what to do, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, I do residential cleaning, but if you're willing to try, come along. I don't have many hours to give you, but I can show you what's all about, right? So she started taking me to this, you know how in Kelowna there's like very, very rich people? So she started taking me to these amazing homes, right, mansions, where literally you have to clean with white gloves, and she taught me how to do everything from top to bottom. Kind of like what the quality was all about, because once you understand as well that when you're in the cleaning business, your customers pay for a service, and that service needs to show, right? So it was a challenge, of course, for me at the beginning, but I'm that kind of person that likes to push. I feel like I have a good eye for cleaning. I am a very well-rounded cleaner because of all of the jobs that I had cleaning. So I was like, oh, well, just started asking questions, seeing how it all worked out for her. And that's where I started like to wonder, like, what if I kind of like go on my own and start cleaning solo? Like, what if I go out and start asking for customers, but then you don't know how to advertise yourself, you don't know how to price stuff, you don't know nothing, right? So she wasn't giving me many hours. I ended up looking for another job, and I went for an interview to start as a cleaner for another company doing Airbnbs. And somehow in the interview, my ex-boss was like, well, I know that I'm interviewing you for a cleaning position, but how are you dealing with staff? Like, how proficient can you be if I put a crew under your wing, right? So I was like, well, I think I could do pretty great. So I ended up leaving that interview with a manager job somehow. And that was a very big challenge, actually. It was very good because I just started. So I had the asbestos, I had the commercial, I had the residential, and now I was going to be doing Airbnbs, right? So that's another whole ball game that you got to learn as well. And I was dealing, with the staff and just trying, because I was a manager, I was trying to, I was supposed to be solving problems for this company, of course. But the thing was that the staffing here for cleaning can become very tricky. It's an industry where there's consistency is not something that you see a lot. I'm not trying to say like, oh, the Canadians or the Indians or whatever. For me, and that's where I'm just building my point to get somewhere. For me, it was like, we weren't finding staff. And it was very hard because when you have, 40, 50, 60 properties to clean, you need staff. And if you don't have that staff, it can become quite a challenge, right? So, because just my natural person that I am, and just like I am here, I like to go into all of the Facebook groups and all of the WhatsApp groups and this and that. So as you all know, many of you might know, because you're Latin or Mexican, there's lots of people here that are missing on opportunities for work because they either don't speak English or they don't know where to look. So yeah, it was a dilemma really. Like trying to find good staff was hard. So that's where the Mexicans and Latino girls came in and just helped me my ex-boss, right? So I was working in that company for 2 years, started putting a crew together, all Mexican. All of the employees that we had at one point were Mexican. And this guy was like, oh man, like, I don't think we couldn't have done it without the Mexicans. So I was like, I know, because some people don't want to give you an opportunity, right? Especially, I mean, that's a cliche industry, yes. Well, the Latino community is known to, you know, work cleaning jobs and all that. And I think cliches sometimes are good because you can play with that fact that, you know, like me, for example, now that I am serving my customers, they're like, we have never had any cleaners that come and do the job like you guys do it. We have never had one of your girls say like, I cannot come today because I'm having a mental breakdown. Or because I am, no, that happens, like it really happens. When I was working for this guy, I would get phone calls like, the shift would start at 9 in the morning, 8:50. Right? Stuff like that. So it's like, I understand that happens because we are all humans, but our community is very consistent and very strong and very determined to go out and get the bread, right? So I was just, you know, like getting the right people to do the right job. So yeah, that was when I was working for him. After just 2 years, I was like, well, I'm doing it all. Like, I'm putting the crews together. I was managing his contacts pretty much. So I just felt like it was the right thing to do for me to step aside and start my own thing. And that's literally how I started. I went down to the registry, opened, got a training, started putting a crew together, and I think my first customer I got from Nextdoor, an app where it's just like Facebook and stuff like that. And then I got another one, and then another one. So yeah, it's all been going really, really great. It's just been a ride, of course. Like I had a lot of times where I felt like really stressed and alone, but I think that also gave me that, as we say it in Spanish, el encaño, de tanto que estás y ahí, lloras y sufres, y dices, me quiero jalar los pelos, pero bueno, al final, pues de eso se trata, ¿no? De agarrar un poquito como tu valor y decir, oye, pero es que yo sí lo sé hacer bien. Oye, pero es que la gente viene y me pide a mí que si sé, que si por acá, y luego el cliente viene y me dice que si yo no conozco a alguien que lo pueda ayudar. Entonces, para mí sí ha sido muy, o sea, así como me estoy parando ahorita a hablarles, sin script, sin nada, así ha sido para mí, un día a la vez. Un día digo, hoy le voy a echar muchas ganas, y al día siguiente lo mismo, y al día siguiente lo mismo. Y pues bueno, hoy I have about 35 clients that are residential. We are, well, another thing that I do is staffing solutions because, of course, me as a solo cleaner, I started connecting with a lot of other cleaners. So instead of looking at them as a competition, I was just, you know, offering them my staffing services because they weren't able to complete their cleans or get the job done because they didn't have staff. So that's where I came in. Like, I'm not trying to get their client, they can keep their client, but they can use my staff. I still make money off of that, right? I have my own clients, like I said, but I work with lots of cleaning companies that are actually my biggest clients. I have 9 girls that are working full-time under us right now, which is a huge achievement, if you ask me, because it's been a very, very long ride. And, you know, they're all women, we're all Latinas, so we can get a little bit dramatic, but it's the best. I don't think I would have ever been able to do it without them. People that work with me know how I handle myself. So if you in the room have worked with me, you already know. So thank you for what you've done. And yeah, so just to keep it shorter, this year, I think I've been collecting lots of, I think I can go to the, okay, so this is one of my crews that I've had. This is from last year. We're more now, but that's my lovely ladies there that love me. And, okay, so now we're offering, you're not able to see it, but we have about 6-9 different services that we offer. So we are doing, of course, residential cleaning, commercial cleaning, post-construction, Airbnb. We're doing the staffing solutions. We also do carpet cleaning. It's funny because I got nominated this year for the best of Florida for carpet cleaning. Not for cleaning, but thank you. Okay, so I just wanted to brag a little bit about this. Last year, I got an email from Luna Now, if you guys know the outlet. It's a very well-known outlet actually here. So I got an email saying that they were putting together a magazine called I Am Woman, actually celebrating the same thing that we are doing here, for women in business. And I was quite shocked when I got that email. I was like, me? Really? Like, of all of the cleaning companies that there are here, somehow they looked at me and it made me feel really, really, really special. So I was featured this year in the I Am Woman. I am actually literally on the very last page, but I am featured, which is a milestone because, you know, like, yes, I am clean. I'm doing that, a little bit of everything, but just to, you know, see your face out among other people that's not even, you know, for us, it might be easier to connect and to relate with each other. But with the, you know, the people here, sometimes it can feel quite unachievable. So I'm just working a lot on that confidence, building that trust in myself, because I know that I, first of all, offer good service. I offer reliability. I like to think that I'm not just cleaning houses, but I'm providing peace of mind for people. And when they hire me, I want them to know that I really care for what they want. And I just feel like that, you know, when you just harvest, right? What you cosechas? Yes. So yeah, just literally wanted to share a little bit about my story. I'm more, like I said, I like to just go about my thing. And yeah, thank you for this space.
Yes, because I know for many people today have been asking me, well, it's a wonderful place, it's a nice place. This is your co-working space. So Alex, can you tell us a little bit?
Welcome, guys. I love to have you guys here. I love to promote events here. This is a community space. We immigrants, most of us are immigrants. We need connection to grow. We need to get together, understand everyone's needs, and grow together. And that's what I promote here. I want to get your business, promote your business, make you guys grow. That way we are growing here as well. Welcome to Space. Feel free to come here, connect here, come for a day of work. You all have a free trial. Okay? Enjoy. Thank you. Thank you.
Our next and last speaker is original from Mexico. Sharon Fisher is a global leader in the gaming industry, managing teams at over 250 people worldwide. She has worked with top companies like Disney, Microsoft, and Amazon. Sharon's vision is to show that there are no limits for Latinas in global tech. Originaria de México, Sharon Fisher es una líder global en la industria de los videojuegos, liderando equipos de más de 250 personas en todo el mundo. Ha trabajado con compañías como Disney, Microsoft y Amazon. Su misión es demostrar que no hay límites para las latinas en el mundo de la tecnología global. Un aplauso para Sharon.
Okay, gracias por este espacio. Thank you very much for this space. 90% happens to be the amount of fear that stops everyone from doing what they really want to do. 98% is what is actually like, it's created by your mind. Like, it's actually not true. 98% es lo que tú te inventas literalmente en tu cabeza y lo que te está dejando no alcanzar tu objetivo. 84% es todo es timing. Ya sabes que dicen que son coincidencias y en muchas veces no son coincidencias, es nada más que tú estás listo para tomar ese paso. 84% is timing. How many of you speak English and Spanish? Okay, and Spanish? Okay, me lo aviento dos. Timing, 84% es estar listo en el momento exacto, tomar la decisión cuando tú te sientes que sí, que es el momento claro. 70% de todos nosotros tenemos el síndrome de impostor, que no te deja hacer, que sabes que puedes, pero siempre lo dudas. 70% of us suffer of the imposter syndrome, where we know that we might be able to do it, we might not be able, but it stops us. 60% is all it takes for you to start a project. Whenever you have 60%, go for it. Don't wait until it's 100%, because then it's never going to happen. That 40% is going to teach you a lot about where you're going, what you're doing. So start at 60 and then keep adjusting from there. 60% es todo lo que necesitas de tu proyecto para sacarlo adelante. Después del 60% vas a empezar a aprender para dónde vas, qué haces, cómo le quitas, qué le pones, lo que te imaginaste no es lo que la gente quiere, así es que regresa, te quita, le pone. Dos razones tengo para hacer todo lo que hago en mi vida, que son mis hijos. 2 reasons I have to do everything that I do. You have to have your inspiration for me, it's my kids. One crazy flipping decision I made at one point, this is my family, and I don't know why I took that picture. It is when I was coming to Vancouver really backpacking, and I just turned around and not with a phone, with a camera, took a picture. You can see my cousin who is here now, my mom who is not with me anymore. But una decisión fue la que cambió totalmente mi vida, una decisión que nos lleva a la historia que yo voy a contar. My name is Sharon Fisher in Canada, pero en México soy María Sharon Velázquez Tiscareño. Como todos lo sabemos, tenemos otros nombres, no los hagamos. Llegué a Canadá literal, viajando, quería yo ver qué era el otro mundo, terminé mi universidad, estaba manejando una empresa de viajes. Dije, el mundo está muy grande y yo me hospedé aquí, vendí mi Chevy y me vine backpackeando. Según yo iba de Vancouver hasta el otro lado eran las cataratas. Lo más lejos que llegué fue Colonia. Came to Canada 18 years ago. I finished my career in Mexico. I was manager of a travel agency. When I decided that the world was bigger, I sold my car. And my idea was to backpack from Vancouver, where I landed, to the waterfalls, big waterfalls over there, but the farther that I made was Kelowna, and I will let you know why. I started, as we all do, from the bottom. I started being a nanny, started cleaning tables under the table. I was not legal when I was doing that. Empecé desde abajo, tenía un título de la universidad que aquí no me valió para nada. Empecé de mesera, empecé de niñera, and then at one point I met a guy, it's always a guy, and I ended up staying here until now. That was pretty much the reason why I stayed longer than I expected. My mom used to joke with me, when are you coming back, 16 years later? Am I still waiting for you? Llegué aquí y algo que fue muy, muy importante para mí entender es que lo que yo era ya no soy. Something that was very important for me to understand is what I used to be, I was not longer. I needed to reinvent myself. I needed to change my ways. We are Mexican, we are loud, we're passionate. Don't be like that in Canada because then you're too aggressive, then you are too loud, and they're like, what is wrong with her? So I really needed to understand that, and that's not a bad thing. We all have different cultures, different ways of working, but it was key for me to really understand how to communicate, how to demonstrate even leadership without them feeling aggressive or like that you are too much, right? How did I start my career in the gaming industry? Is very like out of nowhere. I think again you have to be ready for it, you have to be open for it. Tienes que estar listo y lo que sí. Ahora sí que hay que decirle que sí a todo. Sí a todo. Y así es como uno va saliendo. Y como buenos latinos yo creo que tenemos esa ventaja en esta cultura. Nada se nos cierra, nunca se nos cierra la puerta, de nada tenemos opción A, B, C, D, E y hasta la Z en 3 segundos, mientras que aquí se le va la A y ya no saben para dónde darle. So something that I really understood really quick in my career was the fact that you have to really take advantage of this thing that we have as Latinos, that we have always options, because life in Latin America is not easy, right? It's not go to point to A to B, it is not like that. There's like, they close the street here and then the cab really broke down and then you just go stolen on your wallet, but you still have to make it to that meeting at 9:30. Like our life is very different than here. However, this is one of the main reasons I believe that I was able to move faster in my career, because we don't have a 9 to 4. What is that? That's very efficient, right? Like we go for 12 hours, 14 hours. People that didn't want to or not their culture, I will do it. And not because I wanted to be better, but just are built like that. So don't be afraid to show that kind of thing. Entering into tech, I was at that point working at the Dorado Hotel here in Kelowna. I went to school back in Mexico to hotel and restaurant management, so that's where I felt happy. And one day, I remember a Sunday, 8 o'clock, nobody at the hotel, was like manager of the front desk, and I went into Castanet and they were looking at a penguin for somebody that spoke Spanish, and like that's totally me. I sent my resume, and then they called me next day, interview Wednesday, and then by next Monday I was hired to start working at Club Penguin. Empecé en Club Penguin hace 15 años. El mejor trabajo, uno de los mejores trabajos, porque ese trabajo realmente empezó mi vida laboral en Canadá. Again, who's gonna ever think that your native language is actually going to be the one that is going to open doors and guide where you're going. My job there was to make sure that the kids could engage safe online. There's a lot of things and you don't want to know, believe me, what's happening online and how horrible kids sometimes have it when there's predators online. So our job was to build them a Spanish community there, and then making sure that kids were protected online. So with that, I stayed at Club Penguin for 5 years. Disney came to town. They bought the company. It was literally like La La Land. We went from a startup to Disney, literally flying people to Disneyland, and just it went from really fun to really official, but also I had the great opportunity of working with like the top brand out there when it comes to online safety, which is Disney. I think yo creo que una de las cosas que aprendí en Disney fue exactamente eso. Yo tenía mucha hambre y muchas ganas de seguir. Y me di cuenta que no era la forma porque yo quería hacer más, no porque esté mal, quería hacer más, pero ahí fue cuando empecé yo a encontrar mi propia voz canadiense, como quien dice. a expresarme un poquito menos acá con pasión y en vez de saltar en las juntas porque yo creo que esto es lo correcto, bajarle un poquito más, esperar. I really love what you say in the meeting. I think that we should go this way. My proposal is this and that. Y ese aprendizaje fue lo que me abrió las puertas para la siguiente etapa, que fue entender que Disney used to be the only Disney studio in Canada here, in Kelowna, tiny. We were around 300 people by then. Y todos mis jefes, nadie se quería ir. None of my bosses wanted to leave, right? So I was stuck, right? Like there was no moving forward. Nobody would leave those positions. So one of the people that I work with started his own startup, which is called Two-Hat Security. And what they did was having this technology to filter everything that is online, right? So when people is texting online, hey, my name is Sharon, I'm Tortilla, I live in Kelowna, all of those things that could be dangerous, even worse, racism, adults trying to get to kids with sexual connotations and stuff, that company filtered all that text to make sure that it didn't go through. Ahí a lo que me dediqué fue a ventas. I have never done sales in my life. I was actually first helping them to build the Spanish filter. That's how it all started. But a week into my new role, the CEO came and said, you're going to be on sales. I'm like, I've never done sales, you're going to be great at sales. And he was right. He was right. I think, again, our personality is really appealing for people. One of the things that I will always recommend and give you as an advice, never fake what you are not, always be honest. I came as a Latina in the technology industry, not knowing anything about technology, but I was very open with my clients, but I also wanted to learn, right? That's the difference. If you don't know it, learn it. Y eso me abrió muchas puertas porque me sentaba yo con mi CEO, con ejecutivos, empecé a aprender mucho de cómo se comunican. The learning on this job for me was understand that what you know is actually very valuable. Nobody knows what you do better than you do. So it was very telling for me. In Mexico, we have a lot of hierarchies, right? So you cannot talk to the boss over there. You have to go to the manager. Nobody talks, because they know everything. And it was very telling for me to know that CEOs don't know everything. At least you don't know what I do. At least you don't know. And I'm being honest about it. I'm not cocky about it, but really, maybe sometimes they ask me questions that I have no idea what they were talking about, and I will be very upfront. Hey, I don't know what you mean. Do you mind explaining me what you mean? I will get that answer for you. And then I started learning. I remember going to the first conference. This is Gamescom, which is the biggest video game conference in the world. They have this in August in Germany. And I remember literally 12 years ago being the only woman in the room. And you're talking about parties of 100, 200 people. And there was nobody in technology. Like, it was very hard. So for me, it was almost like triple the challenge, because you go there with an accent, which is like, where are you from? I know it's an accent. As a woman, and then not knowing anything about technology, right? So you really have, again, to be very honest with people, but also stand your ground and trust on your knowledge. Trust who you are. Don't fake it, because people can smell it. People know when you are just making it up. Okay, so the other piece where I started going a little bit crazy, to be honest, when it started working for me, I also had 2 kids at home, right? So you could see me taking very important meetings, closing deals in the bubble over there at CNN, while my son was having soccer training. There has always been this balancing or negotiating between motherhood and being somebody in the business of video games, right? Like there's always this division, negotiating what's gonna drop. At one point in one of the jobs, I totally burned out because you cannot do it all. Y esa fue una de mis otras learnings, enseñanzas en las que aprendí que realmente no lo puedo hacer todo, porque eso también es muy latino. Tú lo puedes y no te dejes y No, no es cierto, no lo puedes hacer todo y algo va a caer y tienes que entenderlo, porque entonces cuando lo entiendes puedes elegir qué va a caer. Y para mí obviamente los hijos no pueden caer, ¿verdad? Entonces encontré otro trabajo, más bien, cuando pasó la pandemia dejé este trabajo en medio de la pandemia porque dije, todos nos vamos a morir. Si nos vamos a morir, voy a hacer lo que yo quiero. In the middle of the pandemic, I decided to quit my very cushy job because I thought we were going to die and this was the time to do what I wanted to do. Empecé mi compañía, Real Game Consulting, que era una consultora a todas las compañías de videojuegos medianas y pequeñas, en todo lo que tiene que ver en safety, online safety y todo esto. 1 año y medio tuve esa compañía cuando llegó mi actual compañía o empleador, se llama Keyword Studios, y llegaron y me dijeron, oye, eso que estás haciendo allá lo puedes hacer por acá, y yo dije, cómo no, con mucho gusto, por favor. Para mí, la enseñanza ahí fue, odio hacer taxes, y soy pésima en hacerlos, mis propios taxes. No me gusta trabajar sola, me gusta tener un equipo, me gusta tener gente con la que puedo rebotar las ideas. Esa es mi currency realmente, donde yo soy mejor. Y te dan un budget que yo pues, la verdad no tenía, y lo que estoy haciendo en este momento es mi sueño, pero con un budget grandísimo, con toda el soporte de una compañía que somos 15,000 empleados. Mi equipo son 350 moderadores alrededor del mundo: México, Manila, Argentina, Japón, todos estos lugares. Gracias a Dios he tenido la oportunidad de obviamente ir, visitar. Lo que alguna vez fue para mí un poco de que me detuvo, que era mi acento, es que no sé decir bien las cosas, que soy más inteligente en español, me cae que sí, pero no me sale, ¿verdad? En inglés. Al final eso fue lo que me ha hecho diferente. Eso es también lo que me ha permitido y me ha enseñado a tener hoy un equipo en el que yo estoy totalmente dedicada a su bienestar, en el que puedo ser transparente, en el que con esa transparencia ellos también regresan muchísimo a su esfuerzo a la compañía. El trabajo que ellos hacen es súper difícil porque están viendo lo peor del internet para que otros no lo vean. Entonces, la forma en la que lo estamos cuidando, la forma en la que estamos haciendo estos diferentes cambios, no solo para ellos, pero también en el mundo, es algo que a mí me llena de energía porque es un impacto gigante. El día de hoy para mí es más contarles mi historia. No tengo Happy Tortillas, no tengo una empresa de limpieza, no tengo algo mío, como quien dice. Pero lo que sí tengo es muchos consejos y muchas vivencias que siempre me ha encantado poderlos compartir con todo el mundo, porque si uno ya se da en la pared, topes, ¿por qué vamos a dejar que todos se den? Y lo que les vine de mensaje final a decir es, nunca vas a estar listo al 100% para brincar. Nunca vas a estar listo, y si te sigues tú haciendo ese pensamiento de, bueno, cuando haga esto, bueno, ahí se va a quedar todo. ¿Estás listo hoy? Da ese paso, y si fallas, qué bueno, como decimos, porque vas a aprender. You are ready today. You're ready today to do whatever you're thinking of doing. Tenemos una comunidad que, gracias a Raúl, lo estamos empezando. No tengas pena, no tengas miedo. Di que sí a todo, a menos de que sea cirugía de cerebro, pero di que sí a todo, porque eso es lo que realmente aquí en Canadá nos saca y nos empuja adelante.
see many new faces. I keep looking forward to see you again in the next events for the Latino Entrepreneur Network or for the Latin Voices Society, which we're looking to connect with more people in the community. I'm a very open person, so if you want to be talking to me, please, you can reach out to me anytime. I'm passionate for the community, and you guys are the engine for me to keep moving forward. Damas y caballeros, espero poder contar con su presencia en los próximos eventos de Latino Entrepreneur. De eso se trata, de conocer historias, de motivarnos, de ser inclusivos, de aprender algo nuevo y que realmente no estamos solos todo el tiempo, porque es muy difícil vivir en este país. Pero no es difícil, de hecho, vivir en este país es enfrentar los miedos. Y como dices tú, a veces nos topamos con pared, pero tenemos que salir adelante y reconocer nuestra autenticidad. Hoy aprendí muchísimo, muchísimo. Yo les recuerdo rápidamente el evento que tenemos el día 24 de mayo, Latin Voices Society, el Little Entrepreneur Market, un evento que va a ser en Grizzly Winery de 1 a 4, es un evento gratuito, es para poder empoderar y empezar a apoyar a estos jóvenes que tienen ideas y que empiezan a crear en sus cabezas sus productos, sus ideas, y vamos a apoyarlos. Entonces, es un evento para todo el mundo. The next event for the Latin Voices Society, it's going to be on May 24th from 1 to 4 at Grizzly Winery, and it's called Little Entrepreneurs Market. It's to empower and support youth entrepreneurs. Let's support the ideas, the creativity. They will be selling services and products, and I need a lot of support for you guys. So please spread the word. Y nada me queda más que decirles que tenemos más pizza. Vamos a continuar con un poquito más de mingle para continuar y cerrar y pues conectarse, a hacer más conexiones. We're going to continue. We got more pizza back there, coffee and water, and we're just going to be enjoying a little bit more mingle. Also, I just want to say thank you. Quiero agradecer a mis voluntarios el día de hoy, al Mundo, a Gina, a Gustavo. Thank you for the support. Un aplauso para ellos. Y por supuesto la música también, the music DJ Suyash.